Moving on to item 8.2, preservation of design immunity, affirmative defense. Mr. Biddle.
Exciting stuff. So the purpose of the proposed ordinance is to really bring our local sort of statutory scheme that's in our municipal code in line with our actual practice of how we process plans and specifications for public work projects. And in doing so, by making this proposed amendment, we are certain to preserve the city's ability to assert the design immunity defense in the face of any claims or litigation that allege that the plan or design of an improvement to public property caused the injury. So Section 830.6 of the Government Code provides public entities with immunity against any injury caused by the plan or design of a construction of or an improvement to public property. And there are three elements that must be met before the public entity can assert the design immunity defense. And the first element is the one that's at issue here, which we're trying to deal with. And that provision is, or that element rather, is that the entity exercise discretionary approval of the plan or design prior to construction, or the plan or design is prepared in conformity with standards previously so approved. So it's really the issue here. We're taking on two issues. The first that I'll talk about is the entity exercise discretionary approval of the plan or design prior to construction. And currently, the city engineer routinely presents plans and specifications for a project to the council for approval at the time that they're seeking authorization to solicit public bids, yet the plans and specifications are not presented in full to the city council. Certainly you see sort of the final conceptual plan, but there are big, thick stacks of paper that follow up that have all the nitty-gritty detail that aren't presented. And further, often the city engineer obtains the council approval of the plans and specs and authorization to bid the project even before the plans and specifications are truly finalized. And so it brings into question whether in exercising that discretionary approval in terms of approving the plan or design, that you actually had it in front of you at that time. And so the concern is that the council approves a project without ever receiving the plans and specs. It is not exercising that discretionary approval. So to remedy this problem, so that the city can rely on the design immunity defense, we're recommending that the council delegate its discretionary approval authority of the plan or design of improvement to public property to the city engineer. Accordingly, subsection B is proposed to be added to the existing section 7-7.01 of the code to provide for the delegation of this authority. Again, the council will still need to approve and provide authorization to publicly bid a project. And then with the city council's authorization to bid a project, the city engineer would then move forward to actually finalize the plans and specs himself and approve them before the project is actually solicited for public bids. Again, as I noted, the council would still have the ability to bless final conceptual plans before the project is approved by the council for bidding, and the actual technical final plans and specs are prepared by the city engineer. Additionally, that first element speaks to plans or designs that are prepared in conformity with standards previously so approved. So in your existing provisions of the code, section 7-701, the code provides that standard specifications for public works construction are to be done pursuant to the 1976 edition. And so what we would like to do is likewise revise that provision to provide that the standard specifications be adopted by resolution, which is much easier to do when specifications are revised, and then to come forward with a resolution to actually adopt those specifications that are utilized by the Public Works Department. And on the last page or next to last page of your report, there's 10 such types of specifications that the Public Works Department does utilize in the various public works construction projects that it undertakes. And so the proposed resolution that would come back to you at your next meeting, December 2nd, assuming you approve the first reading of this ordinance. It would adopt these specifications as standards for utilization in city projects. So at this point, after a motion to read the ordinance by title only, and taking public testimony, we're recommending that the council adopt the first reading of the ordinance. I do want to point out one minor little edit that needs to be made to the ordinance. It's just a typo, and that's in on page 2 of the ordinance. It's your page 380. The language that was to be added in subsection C, the second full paragraph reads, in accordance with section 7-7.01 subsection C. That should actually be B.
I
Okay?
should think so.
You know, I didn't notice that, actually.
So with that, I have nothing further.
Move to read by title only.
Second.
Okay, we'll take public comment.
No, he has to read it first.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Emeryville amending Section 7-7.01 of Chapter 7 of Title 7 of the Emeryville Municipal Code regarding the adoption of standard specification for public works construction and delegation of authority to the city engineer to approve the plan or design of improvements to public property.
Yeah, I just had one question. Is there any implications of doing this? I mean, will people have to pay more money? Will projects take longer? Or I just don't know what the implication is, if there is any. Thank you.
There's no financial implication, and we hope actually it'll help move along the pace at which the city engineer can put projects out to bid.
Move to adopt the first reading.
I'll second that.
Can I ask a question before we do that? Which is, how many people hold this responsibility? That we have one city engineer, but I'm wondering if there are others that this work would also fall to or not. I just want to understand better the parameters and
Within
how.
the city, it would be just the city engineer. He or she, whoever's filling that position, would be the one that would actually, with respect to any project that's put out to bid, there was another provision added in here that they didn't address, but it's in the staff report. It's about actually stamping the plans before they go out for bid, and that would be the responsibility of the city engineer. So it's just that one individual.
Because I do see this as a significant responsibility. And I feel like what we're doing here, you know, I'm not someone who could certainly look at a plan and say, oh, this will
Right.
pass muster. And so we're putting that trust and the responsibility on our city engineer. And I just want to acknowledge that. I think it's an important job.
Right.
So thanks.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.